Oh,
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Joined today is my co-host, Kelsey and JoJo. And we are back.
Wow.
We are back. We haven't seen each other in roughly 2 weeks. None of us have. So, for those
Well,
of you
I saw
that
JoJo.
don't-
Kelsey a week
Oh,
ago.
Kelsey
Yeah.
and JoJo, because I'm not part of the Cool Kids Club. So, they saw each other. I'm over here like some fucking black sheep. So, whatever.
Damn, you
I mean-
should have known a guy.
Yeah, I should have went to
Say.
someone's wedding that I
fucked
didn't
up.
know. Yeah, exactly. Fuck me. Anyways.
Yeah, he would not have been chill with that. Of the people that I know that just be like, yeah, bring a friend randomly, it'll be cool. He's not that guy.
Oh, man.
Now there were like 3 empty seats because people canceled.
That's
Fine.
true.
Sitting next to
funny.
a ghost seat.
That sucks. People cancel, especially on something like, well, I mean, obviously, there's fucking thousands. of
Yeah,
reasons.
it fucking does. When you cancel on a wedding, you're costing the bride and groom like $80 minimum. And when you do that without telling them and giving them no reason and making no intent, like no plan whatsoever to actually get to the wedding, you just didn't want to say no, fuck you. That's definitely not directed at anybody from 5 years ago when I got married. And I'm still pissed about.
I always say, like, I love going to Kelsey's wedding, don't get me wrong. Kelsey's one of my best friends, so being able to support her and being there was awesome. But Kelsey's wedding will for always be like the one wedding I didn't want to go to. And that's solely because I had to fly, and I was fucking terrified to fly. I was the guy that every time somebody was like, oh, yeah, you gonna fly down there? Nope. God wanted me to fly, would have gave me wings. He didn't give me feet, so I'll keep my fucking ass on the ground. I used to say that all the time. And then I flew to Kelsey's wedding, and now every time I see a plane, I'm like, fuck, dude, I need to go on vacation. Every time I see a plane, I think about vacation. Just being able to sit there, play Final Fantasy, and just forget about everything else. Oh, my God. So,
Say what you want. I made your life better by
You
forcing
did.
you to get on that plane.
you absolutely did. So, I'll never forget being the way up to it. I was freaking out. I'm looking up all the reasons why planes can go wrong, what mainly people die on by planes, all this other shit because I want to fucking know. And I'm sweating bullets. The moment I walk into that terminal door, I was a completely different person. I was like, nobody dies from turbulence. Fucking stupid. Like, planes don't ever go down. They stress test this shit. Like, they do this shit in fucking all the different weather tests and everything. I was like, fucking fine. I was like, I'm more likely to die in the car ride here than I was getting on a fucking plane. Like, I just, like, out of nowhere, I just became this completely different guy that was like, fuck it. No, it's gonna be fine.
Why the fuck did you do that?
I don't know. A mental switch just happened. I didn't ask for it. It happened, but I'm glad it did. Maybe I panicked myself to another level where my brain was like, okay, somebody's got to be a responsible adult here, and it's clearly not going to be this fucking guy. Like, right brain, left brain thing, you know? It's like the left brain's like, fuck! And this side's like, bro, chill out, all right? Calm down.
Get your shit together.
I honestly realized there are so many damn people in that airport who've all decided this is fine,
Yeah, maybe.
right? Like, if
Yeah,
it's
we'll all die
okay-
together. Fuck it, let's go.
I love the idea that he peer pressured himself. He looked around and was like, they're calm. I'll peer pressure myself
Oh,
into being calm. Get your
shit.
shit together.
Look at all the people who are flying all the time. If people were like constantly dying from this, we would know.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like, oh shit, there's 1,000 people just loaded.
And I mean, Kelsey can attest to this.
Plane.
I'm pretty fucking like chill. Like if we go somewhere, something's not open or anything like that, I'm like, fuck it, all right, let's go over here. I don't care. Like I'm pretty like just the
Yeah, you
next
don't get flustered by much.
The next fear that was on my mind was that like I was going somewhere that I didn't know where I was going to be, and I was going to fucking like fuck up and go somewhere wrong. Like that was my next fear. Like I'm normally not that guy. It's like, fuck it, I'll get there sooner or later, you know. And hey, if I'm fucking late, it'll be a great story. Oh, Chris, why were you late? Well, you'll fucking never guess what happened. Like, you know, it's easy. But yeah, so I don't know what happened in my brain, but that switch, and I was just like, fuck it. Yeah, and I'm happy to say I've been on 6 planes since then. So, well,
I was
fly
watching-
now.
Is that round trip? Have you done 12 planes or just 3
No,
trips?
no, that's with round trip
Okay.
included.
I was watching some Rooster Teeth content today, and Gavin asked the question of, can you get bored with being scared? And I think that's what you did to yourself, is your
Possible.
brain was just like, I don't want this level of adrenaline anymore. Like, it's not healthy. I'm not willing to do this. This isn't worth, you know, the 45 this isn't worth it the way, 400, what was it, pizza rolls or whatever the fuck you ate that one day
Oh, the
is
36 sloppy joes. Yeah.
Don't even start with me.
100 pizza rolls, 36 sloppy joes.
400 pizza rolls, 36 sloppy, like that's fairly equivalent. Like,
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, she's not wrong. I've gotten close. I've gotten close to pizza rolls too. I mean, when I used to work overnights, that was my lunch break. I had a 2-liter of Dr. Pepper, and then I grabbed one of those 125 bag of pizza rolls and just dump it all on a fucking plate, throw it in the microwave, and that's what I ate whenever I was at work when I was working overnights. Yeah. So she's not wrong. I mean, I did that literally every fucking night for we worked that for about a month straight every year. So
when I am comforting your child of why did daddy have to die so early, I'll be like, look at these fucking decisions, and you tell me.
Yeah.
I swear a vendetta against the Totino's company.
Not me, dude. I can't drop that shit. I can't. Their pizzas. It's actually funny. As an adult, and now that I've tried to, monitor more of what goes in my body, whatever. I got their pizzas again just to for this whole New World Week, which we'll get to here in a minute. But I got some of their pizzas, and I call them trash pizzas because that's what they are. They're like fucking buck, and you just throw them in there.
They're
like
party pizzas. They're for parties.
Well, the party is in my stomach. It's great. So, anyways, I did not notice until now that those are supposed to be cooked, by the way. As a kid, I would throw those in the microwave and then eat them.
Oh, let's still cook.
I did not know. Okay. Well, I mean, they're still technically cooked, but it literally says, do not microwave this. It literally says that.
In an oven.
Like, it needs to go in an oven for you to eat it safely. And, yeah, I used to microwave that fucking pizza every damn time as a kid.
I'm just going to tell her to watch the podcast because at this point we've talked about it enough times and enough unique things. I'm not going to remember all these stories. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to tell her, watch these podcasts, and you'll know why your dad is no longer with us. Like,
there you go. I love you.
This is how we got here. There you go. And he'll declare his love for you in those podcasts as well. So
that's the cool thing about doing this, though. Fucking, there's at least somewhat of a legacy on here. I mean, it might not be an amazing, famous one, but it's fucking here. So she can listen to how I dreamed to shit on myself as I got older. So it's great. It's fantastic. Awesome story to leave behind.
Yeah. Hand over your aspirations to the next generation like the perfect helicopter parent that you couldn't be.
Yeah, it's great.
That's horrifying. Tell us a new story. Get us off the subject fast.
Before I jump into what my first thing that I wanted to get into here is, I have to talk about this because some people have talked about the update. This is a podcast that me and JoJo did where we talked about the Activision Blizzard lawsuit due to tons of sexual harassment and everything else. Activision has just recently tried to settle with an $18 million lawsuit, and it was rejected. Rejected from the group and the state, thinking that this is just a way for Blizzard and Activision to get off the hook. So $18 million rejected. Pretty interesting. More. With the amount of people that walked out of the office, it was like 1,000 something, wasn't it? I believe so. It was like 1,000 something people walked out of the office during Activision for this whole walkout thing for the sexual harassment going on and the frat boy culture at the workplace. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me that 18 million wasn't that magic number. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, no, they are wanting to 100% make Activision make an example out of them. Yeah, that's basically, clean cut. That's how they want to do it. And I don't blame them. Fuck them. So, they've moved so many directors around, and so many heads of the company have changed due to all this. And it's insane, which I don't know how much you actually know about this, Kelsey, but this actually affects
not a lot.
A video game world that you know of, which is that the
Overwatch?
main guy who was doing a lot of this shit and sexually harassing people and stuff was actually in the game as well. He had a character named after him, and they are changing that character's name.
Which character?
McCree.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jesse McCree is just straight up the name of the guy.
Yeah, it's literally the name of the guy. Yeah, Jesse McCree.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, because sometimes, Chris, you yell loudly, and those of us with differing opinions end up just being quiet because we don't want to yell as loud as you. Are you two on the same side on this particular conversation?
I don't know
or
how
you guys
we wouldn't
have
be.
different opinions?
In which regard? That Sexual harassment.
Yeah.
No, I very much think both of you are fully against sexual harassment.
I was about to say. Wait, what?
To be clear, I know both of these men personally, and they are very against sexual harassment. Fully confident of that. More of
Thank you.
do you think the? I mean it. I swear. Do you think the company is actually like responsible, or is this one dude? Do you guys know any of the
Seems
background?
Like there's a lot of dudes.
There's a lot of
It seems
people
like
that were.
one dude.
Yep.
Okay,
There were a lot
so
of
it's-
people responsible.
It sounds like legit a culture problem that the company knew about and was just like, it'll be totally fine, and then it wasn't.
I think out of the entire report that I read throughout, and me and JoJo kind of talked about it in segments, I think out of the entire report, the only thing me and JoJo both somewhat disagreed on, I guess you should say, is like the whole changing the name for McCree. Was like, in the grand scheme of things, like they're like, we're changing the name of the character, and then moving forward, we're not going to be naming any more characters after real people. And it's like, well, that makes sense, but
Yeah,
like,
it's just
it's
smart.
like with the McCree name change, it's like, really, what is it doing? I mean, really, realistically, you're probably going to hurt fans more than anything else. And then I was like, and at the end of the day, I mean, you know, you can kind of go home and fucking, you're pissed off, you can go kill McCree on Overwatch, you know, like.
Yeah, and I realize I know almost nothing about this, so please feel free to educate me if I say something incorrect. However, I'm thinking if someone who sexually assaulted me or created a sexually uncomfortable workplace for me had a video game character that was as well known as McCree, named after them, people are using them as their main, like it's this big old popular thing, like the symbolic gesture of like, we're gonna change that name would be so meaningful from my perspective.
And that's fair. That's fair. And I do want to reiterate, just like me and JoJo did at that time, in case you didn't watch it and you're watching this, you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I
totally
am
didn't watch
not at any like point here devaluing anybody's feelings that was actually a part of this as far as a victim at all. I'm just speaking on the fact that if it would have happened to me, my feelings on it, the way I was saying that I looked at it would be, I mean, now he has something that he, like, that's going to be his biggest achievement. He can't go any higher than that because something like this, he's never going to be hired at another video game company again. That's not going to happen. So his entire world, his future's done. Like, as far as doing, this motherfucker's going to be at a gas station within 2 weeks looking for a fucking job. Like, it's done. So, like, that whole, like, I hope you're happy. This is your highest achievement now. A fucking game that's dying. Like, congrats. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I looked at it. Once again, everybody's going to feel different. I'm not devaluing anybody's feelings. My heart goes out to anybody that was affected by this. It's fucking wrong. It's 2021 and we still have this shit happen in the workplace. It blows my goddamn mind. And I'm glad that you guys said, fuck your 18 million. 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
I was curious. I remembered some number. You know, Activision makes Call of Duty and the
Call of Duty,
Warzone.
World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch.
Actually, here Warzone makes like $5 million a day.
Yep.
So 18 million's not an amount of money. Like, it's just nothing to them.
And just to make sure that people who are on the side of like, oh, well, Call of Duty is made by a different company. Correct. Call of Duty is made by a different company every time one comes out. But they are published and released by the exact same company, which is Activision. So Activision still gets that fucking money. It might be Raven one year and Sledgehammer, but it's still Activision.
They've got like $20 John McClane skins for that game, and so they make millions of dollars off it, and 18 million's not anything.
No, that's why it was almost an out-of-suit settlement for 18 million. Fuck them. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
One thing, when we talk about like what some people describe as frivolous lawsuits, the one that comes up all the time that everybody references is the McDonald's hot coffee thing. Yeah. Which, if you want to use it as an example of a frivolous lawsuit, go fucking educate yourself on that goddamn thing, because that is not a fucking frivolous lawsuit at all. Fight me. Like, let's go. The information is out there. I know it is. Go figure it out. Not a frivolous lawsuit. But when we talk about the figures of 18 million, like 18 million is a life-changing amount of life-changing amount of money to any of us. And I would argue most of the people that are watching this. 18 million is not a life-changing number to Activision. It just straight up isn't. And so when we have that kind of conversation, we skew it in the aren't these people greedy, when often the courts are looking at what's actually going to work to make the company, what's going to be punitive enough to the company to make them not do this again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we get these numbers that are just so ridiculous. We're like, who would ever ask for that? And in many cases, when they do punitive damages are specifically meant to encourage the company to not do it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what punitive means.
Yep.
And like, in order to affect a McDonald's or an Activision or Google or something like that, like the number has to be so astronomical that it seems insane to the everyday human being. And that is not on the claimants. Like, that's not on them. That's not on the defendants at all. That's not their responsibility for punitive damages.
Mm-hmm.
It's just necessary to recognize that those two things exist in different space. And nobody cares about this but me, so I'm going to stop talking about it. Please continue about a new subject. Sorry.
I don't think nobody cares about it, but I think it's another interesting thing to relate it to would be the Black Widow lawsuit against Disney. Perfect example of that one. Because you have a situation where Disney came out and was offering her $20 million. Which, whenever you go back and predate all of her other Marvel movies, she was making $50 million off those movies. So to us, it's all like that, and that was Disney's ploy. Is we'll give her $20 million, and people will be like, "Oh, well, she's gonna frown at $20 million, fucking entitled rich jackass." Like, and that's the mindset that you have. But the problem is that it doesn't matter the amount; it's what's due, and that just to make sure that people don't feel like I'm switching here, because literally the podcast before this one, I was placating pretty hard for big boy companies against JoJo. So I want to make sure that people understand my stance here. In the situation we talked about last time, I don't think anybody did anything wrong. I don't think Marvel did anything wrong on that one. This had nothing to do with the Black Widow lawsuit. Kelsey, you weren't there for that. But Activision did something wrong here. So yes, I would say what JoJo said last podcast, which is they can afford it. So, yeah, they did something wrong. They fucked up. I don't really care. Yeah, 100%. So, but, yeah, I don't know. But I completely agree with you. It's very easy for these companies to throw out a huge number like that and for the population to be like, oh, wow, they're going to get that much money. That's fucking life-changing. But realistically, that's not necessarily what's due. So, and then that's where Scarlett Johansson was trying to not get fucked in that situation because, once again, it's like Netflix came out and said, if we wanted to do a movie, because they just did a movie with Ryan Reynolds, if we wanted to do a movie with Ryan Reynolds, we would have to go back and look at his last 5 to 10 box office drops and then realistically schedule out a payment that would have to be paid ahead of time before that, so he's locked in. And that's what should have been done for Scarlett Johansson. So now, but once again, it wasn't. It was leaked out onto the internet. A lot of people got to watch it that way, whether you think it bombed or it didn't bomb. It didn't do good in numbers, regardless whether that was because the movie was good, the movie was bad, or because it was leaked. Could be any of those fucking numbers there, but it did not come to office, or it didn't come to box office. And because of that, Scarlett Johansson feels that she's owed money. And unfortunately, in her situation, it gave Disney a lot of different weapons to use. Well, your movie didn't do good, so therefore you don't actually get the entire amount of that money. And 2, we can just give you the $20 million because that's all you're owed off of as far as the contract's concerned. Because she's used to getting the sales after the movie. Her contract, from what I read, had nothing to do with before the movie. Unlike, like a Ryan Reynolds, where it's like,
the issue ended up being that the deal was signed on the idea that it was being released theatrically exclusively.
Correct.
And she gets no money from the streaming stuff, so it's like they changed the rules on her.
They did, but the problem is that all contracts have the exact same clause. I can't remember exactly the name of it. Maybe one of you might know, but it's like the apocalyptic clause. Where if there is like literally something crazy going on a global level, hashtag COVID pandemic, that's a back out of that contract. And that's what they use.
I mean, they settled it somehow. They figured it out.
Yeah, they gave her $20 million and she just walked away.
Yeah.
When realistically, she was owed a lot more.
Haunted mansion movie or something.
Yeah. So, it's interesting for sure. But like I said, I'm happy for, like I said, everybody that's a victim to be able to stand together and not just take that first kind of just payday and walk away, because I mean $18 million is a lot. I can't imagine what life is like in fucking wherever Activision is. I'm sure they're close to some kind of crazy ass fucking Silicon Valley-esque
I think
place. Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure rent and shit like that's high, but I mean at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with your daily life. It has to do what you feel that you were owed for the bullshit you got put through. And for you to be able to stand up and reject that, I salute you. That's good. It's awesome. Put them on the hook. Make sure it never happens again. This should be a great standard moving forward. So,
Yeah, please continue holding your workplaces responsible for incredible sexual harassment of any kind.
Absolutely. It's crazy. Like they were talking about like they had a room, the guys did, that they called the Bill Cosby suite. Yeah. That level of crazy. Yeah.
Nope. Fucking don't settle that one for 18 million. Are you fucking kidding me?
The Bill Cosby suite. Yes, 100%. 100%.
It's got text messages.
They got text messages, emails of this Bill Cosby suite being talked about.
Every single one of these men needs to be fired and never find a job again.
Oh, they're
Fuck that
the
off.
floor has been
God.
fucking wiped, and the even better part, just because I love whenever Kelsey like gets on a whole nother level of pissed, the one person that is constantly out in the open and talking back against the quote unquote whistleblowers is the only female lead in the company. Is actually like posting stories of this is why whistleblowing is bad and not good for
Nope. No. So JoJo.
Her is that she was part of the Bush administration and would like go out and defend torture, and then Activision's like, yeah, give us that lady.
No, so she's learned how to be the no, these are good guys, you don't understand them, you guys just are not like, you're so focused on your PC. They've learned how to be, she's learned how to be the female monster, and so they're just like, look, it has a uterus and it's supporting us, so clearly we can't be wrong, and it's like, no, you've learned how to reward this particular uterus-owning thing. Right. Nope, okay, we gotta get off this subject, or I'm gonna yell a lot. My hair's caught. I'm so mad. No. We are against this.
Yeah, she was. It was like literally the lawsuit or the word of the lawsuit broke out, and everybody started to walk out of the office. And her first response was, I think it was like the top 10 reasons why whistleblowing is bad for you and how it could be terrible for or something on Twitter. And then she blocked the employees who were trying to comment on her post. I was like, what in your right mind made you look at this and go, you know what? This is a pretty fucking solid tweet. Like, I mean, she could have.
It's just people going, this you? And then a link to like, a Wikipedia article on torture. And I was like, stuff like that, cool. Right? It's because, like, everyone, they look her up immediately and it's just like, oh, yeah, this is that lady. This is the Bush administration they hired.
This is the monster that learned how to defend other monsters while containing a uterus.
I even said it on that other podcast. I was like, the only thing that she could have posted, and I would have been like, you know what, maybe, is if she would have been like, hey, let's wait until everything's out and then we can digest the case as a whole. Sure, I would have gave you props for that. But that was your first tweet. That was your first go-to. It's the reason why whistleblowing is bad for you and your job. Like, are you fucking serious? I was like, there's no fucking way she thought that through. Zero way. Oh my God.
No, she was probably encouraged, hey, we need a woman to say this because the women are the ones being uppity right now. Oh,
I will say this though.
So mad. I am mad to my toes. I'm pissed. Oh my God.
I will say this though. Their CEO, president, whatever, a man.
Yeah,
apparently, like he's like the only person that wasn't involved in the majority of this shit. Apparently, like for most of the victims, like reports and stuff that I've read, like he's been completely fucking supportive. Like the moment that this broke, he came out and was all like, "Yeah, we're fucking cleaning house." Absolutely. I didn't know that this was a fucking thing going on in my company. Done. Like, so if he actually is a good guy, sweet. I really find that we're talking like Bill Cosby suites and shit. I feel like it's hard to believe that he's not part of it. But like, if he's not,
I don't think is a good guy. He's just a money guy, not a sex creep guy. I
guess, that might be. Yeah.
Like it's just that he makes a ton of fucking money. He gave a thing about the Bush lady, and it's like he made $100 million just in bonuses over the last 4 years. Like that guy.
That's
he makes
nauseating.
A ton of cash. Yeah, I think he doesn't even. He can't sexually harass anyone. He's not going to touch the low level people. He's not in the same room as common employees.
Yeah, sure,
it's
sure, absolutely.
Old tower somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that we are. I'm glad, JoJo. I adore you. If I never say that enough, I absolutely adore you. I am so thankful that you are enough of a varied and, I don't know, prismatic human being. What I'm trying to say by that is you have facets. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what the fuck prismatic means, so don't lean on that. But I love that you have enough facets to be like, hey, he gets points in the pro column for not being a sexual creep. He loses points for being a greedy motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, dude's been the CEO there for, it feels like forever, like genuinely forever. Like, people have hated him since, like, Modern Warfare came out or something. Like,
I don't know the guy, so.
Oh man, people on internet forums just he's like the most hated guy in the video game industry for a lot of time. But just for being an asshole who like closed, studios people liked or something, and not for being an actual criminal. So points to him.
Hey, yeah. If you're
Point to him for not being a sexual creep on top of that. Oh my god. Oh, I am so revolted. I am so angry. I was watching the playthrough of a video game today where a bunch of guys, I got so mad today. I've been a lot of today mad. Where a guy was talking to another dude about trying to like get laid. And this guy like is genuinely into this girl. This girl's genuinely into him. They're in the early flirting stage and they're trying to like figure out like, are we a thing? Are we willing to be a thing? And it's this cute little romance that they're having, right? So his friend walks up and is like, you're a predator. She's prey. She's not going to know what hit her and stuff like that. And it's like, if you are literally ever talking about women as prey, you need to stick your dick in an iron. Like, fuck off. Like, no, we are. I've spent a lot of day mad. Stick your dick in an iron if you describe women as prey. No joke. I mean it.
Now I want to send Kelsey one of my streams that I literally just got through sending to my family to hear what our conversation was about. So you talk about that. Meanwhile, me and my friends are up to 3 o'clock in the morning playing New World talking about, have you ever sat on your balls? I kid you not. Everybody's quiet. You just hear Mike go, have you ever sat on your balls? And I'm like, no, Mike, I've never sat on my balls. I laughed so hard. I had to walk away from the mic. You literally see me just stop playing at some point, and then you hear my mic cut off, and I had to walk away because I was crying. My abs fucking hurt. This guy goes, you don't know what I'm talking about? I was like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so we keep going. I don't know how we got onto it, but we got into how fucking apparently Kentucky is like, I don't know. We were talking about incest there for a while, and kept moving on. It started with there's this Weaver Finn place in the game, and it looks like I kept calling it Alabama. I was like, it's Alabama. I'm pretty sure they're fucking cousins around here. So we got started talking about incest, and somebody talked about Kentucky. Apparently that's incest too. I was like, I don't know. I just know they make great bourbon. So if incest make great bourbon, fucking let's go. Anyways, all jokes, right? All jokes, right? So, and then he brings up the ball sitting thing. So apparently Tony wasn't there for the first time he asked us this. So Tony's there this time. He goes, oh, Tony, you weren't there. Bro, Tony, you ever sit on your balls, bro? And Tony's like, no, I can't say that I do. And he goes, this is where I lost it. He goes, you're telling me right now, like you never sit down and like, oh, fuck, I got to correct my balls. And like you like overcorrect. I lost it. Overcorrect your balls and then sit on them. I fucking lost it. Here goes Tony. Once again, this is all on stream. Here goes Tony going, I'm trying right now, and I can't. Like, what did you... He's like, I don't even think it stretches that far back. I was like, oh my God. I was losing it. I was dying laughing. I was crying so fucking hard. Oh my God. I was like, this motherfucker said, overcorrect my balls, and then I sit on them. I was like, what? Oh my gosh, he's all like, maybe I just have big nuts. And Tony goes, no, you have saggy nuts. It has nothing to do with big. That is not the same problem.
Yeah, it's just a lot of... Oh my God.
See, as a non-ball having person, I've had conversations with other non-ball having people. And we've talked about the fact, like, how do you ride a bike? And they're just like, you get on a fucking bike. Like, it's not, and I'm like, there's no problem there. And I'm like, how is there not a problem there? But, I don't have nuts. I don't know what it's like to try to sit with nuts. I would have guessed that sitting on your nuts occasionally was part of it. Shows what I know.
I didn't know his concept until there was a guy I found on Twitter who would shove this story. There's a TV show from, I don't know, the 80s, 70s called Mr. Belvedere. Apparently the main guy on that show one day sat on his own balls and they had to stop filming for the day because he hurt himself so bad.
God damn.
I'm sorry. That's...
Yeah.
Sounds excruciating.
So that's how I learned that was a concept. I never even, up in my life.
Yeah, because I was like, I've never sat on my balls. I was like, I mean, there might be like a situation where it's like you're asleep and you go to roll over and you go to like close your legs, you're laying on your side and you're like, oh shit, hold on, wait, I got to readjust because you might squish them. But like, I've never once been in a situation where it's like I go to sit down and I'm like, oh fuck, that was a close one. Like it's never happened before in my life. Like I was like, what?
See, my guess is go ahead. Sorry, shutting up.
I say the guy from Mr. Belvedere is kind of old. I think it's a thing where as you get older, But I think
long, dude.
I can't remember who said was your friend who said the thing. But
Saggy, dude.
I think he's too young for that to happen to him. I think that's something medically confusing.
Oh yeah, but I mean, once again, I mean, we're all friends and we're all guys, so we don't like acknowledge anything that could be actually helpful to each other. We just talk shit to each other and make fun of each other for it. So then the immediate next thing out of Tony's mouth was like, you know, that time, like, do you guys ever have that situation where like you go to like, you know, like you take a step forward and your other leg kind of bends back and like you're like, oh shit, I almost squashed my ball between my fucking kneecap. It's like, you ever have that happen? Like making fun of the whole stretch aspect.
Oh, okay.
I was like, Jesus. I mean, Tony was literally like, I'd have to sit down at like a 30-degree angle even for it to be like even that fucking close. Like, how do you sit in a chair? And I was like, that's it. They weren't taught how to sit right. That's the only thing that I can think of right now. Is they weren't taught how to sit right. It's like, Jesus, dude. Oh, man.
I'm going to guess guys just, like... I'm thinking of nuts and penises right now. I'm sorry I'm doing this in front of the internet. I shouldn't be. But I'm going to guess guys just, like... of course they do, because they've got narrower hips, so their legs are just, like, naturally a little bit closer together. So there's probably, like, you guys have less passing between your legs in general. I don't know a better way of saying that, and I'm sorry I said that on the internet, but I'm going to guess, like, that's just part of it. Like, girls were rewarded for having a thigh gap, or were rewarded for having space there. Guys are not. No. So I'm going to guess that you guys just don't let your legs spread as far, especially not when you're fucking sitting, because that would be complicated, right?
I would think it would be complicated, but
like you don't sit with your legs like you don't sit down.
I don't know, but I don't know how they sit. Like I pointed out, I'm pretty sure they weren't taught how to sit correctly. So
yeah, clearly,
because they're sitting on their nuts, they're doing something wrong. That's for sure. But I just remembered what it was. The fucking funny joke about the whole incest thing was we were talking about it, and it was an argument between me, Mike, my brother, and James, and we're all from the South. And so Tony, being the only one from the North, goes, man, dude, being in a party right now, listen to four Southerners argue and talk about which place is more incest down South. This is fucking great.
Ew.
I don't even think he said that. I think he said, listen to four Southerners argue about who fuck or who's more likely to fuck their stepsister or something like that. Not Austin. I was like, no way, dude. I was like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you, bro.
Tony sometimes just hits that nail just perfectly.
He does.
Probably one of those moments.
He does. Oh, man. It's been a riot. All of us fucking getting on New World every night, fucking playing that game. It's been a fucking riot. Like, there's been so many conversations. Oh, man. Yeah, it's been, yeah. But there you go. That's a peek into our conversations, Kelsey. Like, we don't talk about women being prey. We just talk about whether or not we sit on our own balls. It's great.
Thank you so much for not talking about women being prey. If either of you ever do that, I'm going to rip you a new one.
For all I know, there's 1,000 text messages between these guys in the Cosby suite about their ball situation also. It's just maybe. See the ones that are about...
I don't know. I feel like that would come out.
Yeah.
Might be on like fucking BuzzFeed or something. Like fucking
right. Jesse McCree did a bunch of sexual harassment, also sat on his balls.
He's a ball
I hope
sitter.
He did. I hope he does. I hope he
fair.
frequently sits on his balls.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna just take permission to be an asshole to him.
So moving past that, AAA titles, dude, we gotta get better. We gotta get better. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make a transition.
Hard transition.
We gotta get better, man. I can't believe that here we are, 2021, and AAA title releases are as bad as they still are. It's crazy to me. Like midnight, I get it, man. Like a lot of people fucking buy the game last minute, But there's so many pre-sales. Like I don't understand the concept, especially with something like Amazon. So I'm specifically bitching about New World, which I don't want to. I love the game. I'll start that off. I love the game. Anybody's wondering if they should buy the game, fucking buy it. It's amazing. I cannot explain to you the feeling of getting in on an MMO at the start and moving with it versus always like it normally is starting off at an MMO and they're light years ahead of you with content and levels and all that other on the ground floor. Fucking amazing. Love the MMO. Love the game. It's great. Amazon did a great job. You fucked up your launch. Anyways, so that being said, You have the pre-sale numbers. Amazon owns servers, first off. I want to start there. Amazon owns servers, so don't give me this fucking server bullshit. They released worlds, right? So you got Australia servers, West servers, East servers, whatever. And there's a certain amount of worlds per server. Each world has its own server dedicated to it, is the way that they broke this whole fucking thing down. They're like, well, there's a region server, and then there's the world servers. All right, sweet, awesome, whatever. Who the fuck looked at an MMO, one that broke Steam records and broke Twitch records in a fucking beta, by the way, both times that the beta came out. Not one time, both times. Broke its own records the second time they released the second beta. And put these caps at 2,000 players. 2,000 players. Fucking A. You get into the game. I didn't play the first day it came out. I didn't get to play. I got in, played for an hour. My graphics glitched because the game's brand new. Fucking kicked me out of the game. I was fucking 1,800 something in queue waiting to get into this fucking game. So for the next 6 hours, I didn't play. Got in 6 hours later. Got into the game. Played it for about roughly 40 minutes. And then I don't know who hates me up there, but fucking had somebody crash into a fucking internet pole. Someone crashed into a fucking tower near my house. So then my internet went out. Yeah. I was like, what are the fucking odds? First day. My day off. I requested an entire week off for this fucking game. First day out of the gate. Bam. Fuck me, right? I was so upset. Anyways, it's the reason why I'm not max level yet. I'm only a fucking goddamn 50. Motherfucker. Anyways, so that being said, how you can do a 2,000 player cap is beyond me, first off. I don't understand why we always do the whole underestimate and then scale up versus overestimate and then scale down what's not being used. Because at least if we do that,
costs more.
I agree with you. Once again, it's Amazon. It doesn't cost as much as it would be a different gaming company because Amazon owns the fucking servers they're using.
That might be a technical issue that they can't process more than 2,000 people on a server at once, right?
No, they've already talked about upping the cap.
Calculations because an action game and WoW is, which is turn-based and slower, doesn't have to do hitboxes as precisely or anything. I just can't handle. They should put out way more servers then, obviously, but they probably can't handle that many more people on an individual server.
That's the first thing they said is we're going to release a lot more servers. But then the problem is for people for instance, let's say me, who I've put in somewhere around 160 hours into this game already, and JJ, who's only put in 2, if he wouldn't have got on a specific amount of time, he wouldn't be able to play in my world because within bringing in new servers, they locked the old ones. So now you can't play with your friends.
Yeah. Which is the whole point.
Kind of the point of an MMO.
Right. No, I saw it. Yeah, they also took back someone PR person said oh yeah, you could totally. There's a way to change servers once you. And then they were like, no. By the way,
blew my fucking mind. Me and Mike got into a full out argument over that because he read it to me and I didn't believe him. I could not believe a PR person was that stupid. It wasn't that they couldn't change servers because they're going to set it up. They're going to let everybody change servers for free if they want to one time because of the whole fuck up the launch, which big whoop, that fucking does nothing for me. But this is this is what was tweeted. A player specifically asked, if I jump onto the EU servers right now because they're the only ones with open worlds and I play there, will I be able to change my character from a EU region to the US where I will have better ping? And they said yes. What? No one does that. No one does that. There's not a fucking MMO out there that lets you do that. Fucking Final Fantasy? Nope. World of Warcraft? Nope. Change regions? Are you fuck? The amount of computing you'd have to do to fucking be able to get that fucking shit and move it all? No. Fuck no. No one does that. No one does that. I was like, are you kidding me? And then they released it. Yeah, this is literally 2 days ago. You'll be able to switch servers within your region. Duh! That's how it works. To be fair, Tony, and me and Tony both guys said the same thing, which is if you believe that, it's kind of on you. No one fucking does that. But at the same time, that PR guy really fucked up.
Remember,
no one does that.
You always have to remember, especially with large companies like Amazon, the PR people and the devs have nothing to do with each other.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They've never met each other. The PR person doesn't know what they're promising. There's no realm in which that PR person had a clue what they thought they were promising.
Right.
They thought they understood, They didn't.
They asked the devs, "Hey, will people be able to change servers?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And then didn't think any further.
And then didn't realize like there were features of that that request.
Servers, not
regions.
regions.
There was a follow-up question to even consider asking. Probably.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, and being thrown into a conversation and being the person who's like, "I'm an extrovert. I'll talk to these people for you," when I don't fully know the situation. Like, it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah.
And I'm on a European Final Fantasy server for some reason. I don't remember why. That's complete digression. But yeah, it seems bad.
Yeah. So then they said, we'll give you more worlds, which everybody was like, okay, great. That doesn't fucking help me, but I'm glad there's going to be more worlds. And then there were people that I hate the White Knight Warriors that are going to stick up for the fucking game no matter what. Like, I mean, as biased as I am, I've even come out and have aired my grievances about the fucking remake. Like, if I can do that, we can all do better when this is Amazon's first fucking game. Like, come the fuck on. There's no reason to be standing behind Amazon's gaming studio with the fucking one under their belt. Like, let's be real. So they literally go...
Weird about that.
It's nuts, dude. This guy literally goes, well, great. What am I supposed to do now? Because fucking, like, I want to play with my friends and we can't get into the server. And the first person it was the same guy, too, honestly. It really was the same guy. It was just commenting on everybody's comments. It's just being a dick, honestly. But he's just like, well, fucking stop being a loser and tell your friends to go play on a different server with you. And it's like, well, I can't get into a server. Well, choose a low-populated server. They released all those worlds. They were filled within fucking minutes. Minutes. Because there's that many people wanting to play this fucking game. And they're not wanting to sit... Tony's cousin is going to this server called Morrow. It's like one of the top PvP servers. He's playing in our server right now because he can't get into his. Whenever that game released, we had this whole server status page. It was 141 hour wait time to get into that server. 141 hours. So it's not just the people who can't get into the game because they can't play. It's also the people who are waiting there for fucking 2 weeks to be able to play the fucking video game as well. There's a lot of people waiting to play this fucking game. Like, a lot. So it's just, it's fucking crazy that they would even put a player cap like that low. Like I said, in my opinion, even overestimating just a little bit. Because realistically, what's going to happen is they're going to double the player caps. They're going to double it. And with that, it's going to significantly increase or decrease the queue time. Because going from 2,000 people playing and fucking 5,000 people in queue versus 4,000 people playing and then fucking 3,000 people in queue, plus all the people who are getting off in the meantime, that queue's going to move a lot fucking faster. I don't think we're going to see anything over fucking 30-minute queue times. Which really isn't that bad for an MMO. A new MMO, should I say. Realistically, you'd be able to just jump in the game and fucking play, which is what we see now, but that's because the worlds are capped and no one else can fucking get in. So now I can just jump on and jump the fuck in. I'm like, great, yay, this is fun. But at the same time, we can't recruit anybody to join our company anymore because there's no fucking new players. Everybody is on a team already at this point. So now it's like, well, fuck, what do we do now? Anyways, not the point. Digress. So they've already talked about they're going to up the player cap. But in my opinion, once again, I don't do any of this shit as a fucking profession, so fuck me, right? In my opinion, you overestimate and you scale down what you don't use within the first fucking week. Because within the first week, you should have like a pretty solid fucking point on what your numbers are. Because you already have the pre-sales and then everybody that bought it midnight release. Versus upscaling, kicking everyone off to upscale, to do all the maintenance that the upscale is going to take to fucking upscale, and then piss everybody off and have the PR fucking nightmare. I'm just saying, one sounds like it's worth a little bit of money, especially when you're a company that owns the fucking servers. I would agree with you. If I'm like fucking Square Enix and I don't own servers, yes, that's going to cost a shit ton of money. But Daddy Bezos owns the fucking servers. Fuck! Like, come on! There could have been anything better than what they did. Anything better. And every time they open their fucking mouth, it's something worse. It's something like they're fucking up something worse. Once again, game is great. If you can play it, if you can get in, the game is fucking phenomenal. But you better figure out real quick, like all the other assholes on the game, that, and this is the endless cycle. And this is why I hate Tony. Tony, if you're watching this, fuck you. This is why I hate Tony. Because people who create this cycle because they don't want to be part of the cycle. And what I mean by that is that they auto run into walls and then put macros into their keyboards to make them fucking throw spells off every couple seconds and then start running into a wall again because they don't want to wait in the 13-hour queue. The reason why there's 13-hour queue is because there's hundreds of you fucks who are running into the goddamn wall and throwing up fucking macros the entire time, not letting anybody else play. If you're getting off the game, get off the fucking game. Get off the game. Like that easy, that simple. I hated it. He told me, he's like, yeah, man, I'll show you how to set macro. I was like, no, go fuck yourself. Get off the game. Gonna go lay down for 2 hours? Fuck off. Go.
As somebody who doesn't understand what we're talking about, the game, if you're in line for a game and it throws you in and you're AFK and you don't do anything, it just kicks you right back out. And
you get 20 minutes.
Go to the back of the line. So they set up a macro so that way they'll just they will appear to be doing something. Right. So that way the
tricks the game's algorithm. Yep.
And then they can come back whenever the fuck they want and the game will
and
be
they'll
ready
still
for
be
them.
in the game. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. So they never have to worry about Q.
That's clever. It's terrible. You guys suck.
Yeah.
It's clever.
Or Chris, make a fucking macro, man.
No, I'm not going to be part of the fucking problem.
Even Monster, dude.
No, I laid this out perfectly. I'm like, you're the dumb fuck who complains about traffic, but is also the same asshole that's in gridlock and just fucking constantly moving over one lane because you think you're fucking getting ahead of somewhere when you don't actually have to get off at that exit. You're still going to be on this straightway for fucking 10 miles, but you're that asshole. It's like, oh, I'm going to steal this fucking little spot. Now I'm going to steal this fucking little spot. Now I'm going to steal this fucking little spot. And you're fucking making everybody else back here have to wait on you to fucking be a dick. No, if you're done with the game, go the fuck to sleep, wake up, and wait in queue like the fucking rest of us. That easy. That simple. Yes, it sucks. But queue would go a lot faster if there weren't fucking... I mean, any town you go to, all you had to do was just walk behind the houses. And you would just see hundreds of people just running into the wall. And then they'd stop, fire, ice, into the wall.
Great.
And I was like, bro, come the fuck on, dude. Pissed me off.
Now here's what, if Amazon wants to be real shitty, what they should do here is sell like a Disneyland Fast Pass thing. $5, you can go to the front of the fucking queue every time you want.
I would buy that. I would 100%
yeah, right. There you go.
Or what if it kicks you out when you die? So you get launched off the server, so somebody can just walk behind those buildings, blast all of those people, and then 100 people can come on the server.
Well, and
that sounds fun. But
so here's the problem with this, though, is that, as I said, every time they open their mouths, they fuck up. They come out and go, we're creating an algorithm to get all these non-playing playing people out of here, right? But we're not going to give away our secret to what it is. That means you don't have a fucking idea what to do about this. That is literally what that reads to me. We're not going to give away any secrets because we don't want you guys tricking it.
I can't tell you because then the guys will just work around it, right?
No,
if it turns,
I can tell you right now, I go fucking auto wall until run right now. There's still people auto wall running, and they said they released this fucking a week ago. No, they're not. They don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
They might get 10% of them the first time, and then their next one will be better, and eventually they'll get closer. I trust if Amazon cares about kicking these people, they'll figure it out. Like, they've got the people, they've got the resources. As you said,
you would think
Daddy
that.
Bezos.
I mean, also, ultimately, Amazon's is behemoth, and it's really just some way smaller development team that probably doesn't have... their gaming division is... This is the only game Amazon's, I think, successfully put out still.
Daddy Bezos backed
canceled,
this.
Like, 2 others, I think.
Daddy Bezos backed this. He officially tweeted, don't forget to play New World when it comes out. This got Daddy Bezos' blessing. Yeah. So, fucking...
I don't think he handles his own Twitter account.
Daddy Bezos needs to show the fuck up if you're listening.
The SEC thinks he does. Sorry.
He's busy going into space week.
Well, Daddy Bezos, if you and Uncle Elon Musk could set up your fucking moon fucking internet service real fast and you could get on and fix this problem for me, that'd be great. I would love it.
I despise you calling him Daddy Bezos. I hate it.
Bezos.
I hate it so much.
That's Big Daddy. Big Daddy Bezos.
Oof, do not.
Oh, man. But, anyways, I had a whole bunch of other things I wanted to get to, but we're not going to do that. Last thing I wanted to bring up here. Squid Games. Has anybody watched it?
I refuse.
Oh, good. Me too.
Wow. Really? I'm surprised.
I hate that premise in all things, games, like the Hunger Games and Battle Royale and shit. I do not like let's just make a bunch of people fight each other to the death or whatever who haven't done anything, or just like, here, what's like the most horrible thing you could do to people?
Really?
Now watch this. Like, no thanks. Sounds like a bummer.
Horror and torture for the sake of horror and torture is not my jam. Like, I disagree with you in that I enjoy the Hunger Games, but I enjoy it for a completely different reason, and I can go on a full 20-minute rant about that by myself and will not do so. But Squid Games, at least what I understand of it, like, nah, not my jam. That's horror for the sake of, like, let's see how awful, like, let's be horrified by people. And let's be horrified by people doing horrible things to people, and that's not my jam.
Damn.
Sorry.
So I take it you like it? Do you watch it?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, it was a good show.
You also enjoy horror for the sake of horror.
I mean, I like horror movies, yeah, but I also don't like torture films, so I stick away from those, like Saw and Hostel. I think this is different. I don't classify this as the same.
It's kind of like Saw to me, that sort of thing. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That first Saw movie is actually not terrible.
I've seen that.
It's enough of like a detective, or like, you know, it's an okay twist.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised. Just like with the backstory of how Squid Games became to be like Squid Games, with the fact of like that's their culture over there, kind of like Japanese with the anime culture. That's just like their culture over there. They do a lot of the death game stuff. Alice in Borderland, something else that it had done. This dude worked for like 10 years to get this project going. Been like kicked down so many times. Fucking yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, good for. I don't wish them. You know.
I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I thought we were going to have a little bit of a conversation on Squid Games.
It's so extremely not my thing. I've never.
Nah, it was. There's a lot of different twists and a lot of different things to try to guess on what was going to happen and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I fucked up by watching it dubbed, but I knew I was going to be playing New World, so I needed it more so I could listen versus watching it in actual Korean. And yeah, that fucked me hardcore. So
yeah, I couldn't. Well,
the lip sync
that closely, I guess.
Yeah, lip sync to that, and I mean they couldn't have picked wider voice actors for that.
Yeah, right.
It was terrible. It was fucking terrible.
I will watch an anime dub because those are cartoon characters, and I don't know what they should sound like, but like, oh no, that's just a Korean guy.
Yeah.
sounds like he's named Joe.
Yeah. Nope, you're not wrong. It was that bad. It brought every character who was annoying up to like ungodly annoying, and every character that wasn't annoying to slightly annoying. And I was just like, fucking hey. Because like, I mean, there was times where it's like, thanks for playing and stuff like that. And I was just like, please, this is terrible. This is rough. Wow.
That's one of those awkward cultural things where that just doesn't translate well.
Yeah.
And they try to make it equally as like big in English and in American culture and the way that they portray it, and making it that big in this culture is just so widely out of how we normally portray anything that it's jarring.
Yeah.
I don't have better words. Cody would have perfect words, and I'm not Cody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was really well done. And then on top of that, something that honestly I thought would be the main thing that you guys talked about if you had saw it was the fact of like just how they had a code and they lived by that code was interesting to me. Like you see it as like this whole like murderous group who are killing all these people who aren't able to complete these games, But it's like they were very big on the fact of like, this is fair. Like if you're participating in this games by your own choice, this is fair. Everybody, this is because these people didn't get adopted and brought there. Yeah, they chose to go. Yeah, they chose to go. So it was like, it's all fair. And once they found out like somebody was getting inside information and everything, like they killed everybody in the organization that was working with the guy, all kinds of shit. Like it was crazy. They were like, you were all brought here under the same pretense that it is going to be a fair fight for the money that you wanted to win. Not to mention, like, by the way,
downtrodden people who like need money. So it's just like, it's fair, but like you're just making poor people fight for.
But at the same time, at any point they're allowed to leave, though. That's the problem, though. At any point they're allowed to leave, and they chose not to. So like.
I don't enjoy the pageantry of let's make the poor people put their lives at risk in order to get that is not a pageantry.
I don't know if I would say poor people. There was a lot of fucking like it was just people who were like rich and fucking blew all their fucking money. Like I mean, there's all different kinds.
That still counts as poor.
I mean, I see poor as like you are a victim of circumstances that you might not have had full control over versus. You know what? I'm a high roller. I'm going to blow all my fucking money. I know what I'm doing. I know I should stop, but I'm going to do it anyway. Versus like you got fired from your job and now you're fucking kicked out of your house and it's hard for you to be able to get a job because you don't have this, you don't have that, Like that's two different levels for me.
While those two things are totally different, the human experience of I don't have what I need, I'm desperate, I'm scared, and I need to get it, and I'm willing to put myself on the line in order to get it, that human experience is the same no matter the story. And so while I wholly agree with you that the experience of observing those two things and kind of the moral and the like, you're a victim of your own like decisions and that makes you less sympathetic. Like while that exists to some degree, the fact that desperation will drive you no matter how you got to be desperate, whether it was their circumstances or your decisions, that's still not a pageantry that I enjoy. I do not enjoy a pageantry of the desperate.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I would agree if they were abducted and I didn't have the chance to leave, which they had the chance to leave. I guess that's where for me it wasn't that bad. They had a chance to leave, they all chose to leave, and then they showed them the fact that they could win money if they wanted it, and then they all got invited back the next week and they all chose to go back. So
it just like seems like it's like it's real cruel for sake of being like you could do it, in the Squid Game world. Hey, you could just do a game show. You don't have to shoot these people or whatever.
No, for sure, for sure. That was the one thing that that was the one thing that me and Tony both agreed on that we thought was fucked up, and that would be where I would somewhat agree with what you guys are talking about. Is that they were told they would be eliminated. So everybody that died in the first game didn't know like death was on the line, because that would significantly change the way that you played something if you knew your life was on the line.
And your willingness to do it.
Correct. But at the same time, they all chose to leave and go home after the first game. They also all chose to come back, once again, after the first game. At that point, they knew what was on the table. So it's kind of like yeah. But no, I mean, I get it. Some people don't like gory shit and stuff like that, and what it comes along with it, and that's fine. It's like
it's right. I can watch things where people die and stuff. It's just there's something about that specific kind of premise I've always like.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I like the fact that they went with little kid games. I thought that was pretty interesting. So it was all stuff like you might not play anymore, but you might have somewhat of an idea of what it is. And there were a lot of Easter eggs, especially whenever you get to the very end and figure out the big twist. That was probably my favorite part about the show, was once you go and figure out the big twist of the show, you go all the way back through and watch the episodes again. And like if you were actually paying attention, you would see these very small little hints that would have told you the big reveal all the way throughout the entire show.
That's cool. Yeah.
Which I thought was really fucking awesome.
I do appreciate when they build that in as opposed to like retconning it after. I love it when it's there ahead of time, and if you were paying attention and knew, you could see it. I do.
Like, you guys for sure aren't going to watch it. This is not on the table.
There's absolutely no chance. No. Yeah.
But the people watching this episode,
right? Yeah. We should.
Well, once again, this is the thing's been out over a month now, so that's why I'm going to say spoiler alert, obviously, but it's been out over a month at this point. So spoiler alert: there's an old guy in there, and he's the guy that's running the whole thing. He's fucking stupid, filthy rich, but he's also competing. And it's like if you actually go back and watch, like for instance, there's this scene where like they think they're fucked because they're going against like an all guy team because they got told to make teams of 10, and so a lot of the guys are like, we need a group of all guys because if it's a strength thing, fucking obviously we having all guys, we're gonna be stronger than any team that has like it's a lot of really small skinny women in there. Yeah. They're like we're gonna win, and not to mention the old guy too. So the team that the main guy is on, if you will, had the old guy and 3 women, and so they're all like, oh shit, fuck. So the old guy, and it was tug of war. And so they're up on these fucking tall ass fucking bridges, fucking way high up in the fucking air, and you gotta pull this fucking rope, and then the other people fall off, die, all that other shit. So the old guy's like, I used to play tug of war when I was a kid. I'll tell you how to win, So he's all like, as soon as it starts, throw your bodies completely back, like as far back as you can to where you're laying on the rope, and then just hold it there for 10 seconds. And then when you're done, we'll loosen up a little bit, and that's gonna give them some slack and make them fall. Then we pull them forward, and then that's how we'll win. So they all get handcuffed to this rope. Whenever they do the lean back, if you look, you actually see the old man's handcuffs are on, but he has no chain connecting him to the rope. But it's like a split second, and they kept doing it throughout to show these different things, to show that like he actually didn't actually have skin in the game. So like the very first game where everybody died, it was like a stop and go game. So red light, green light.
Yeah.
As this gigantic robot would turn her head, and then her eyes would fixate on everybody that was fucking moving. And then it would automatically shoot the guns and kill them. Like, if they were even just, like, fucking wobbly. It didn't matter. So, as soon as you say red light, her head would flip around real quick and then catch everybody. But if you go back and watch and you look, it scans through everybody, and the old man starts leading the pack at one point. You never see his body turn red or blue. But you don't notice it because it's going so fast. So he's unrecognizable in the machine. I was like, that's fucking cool. Like, holy shit, that's pretty fucking sweet. Not to mention they also had every game painted on the walls where they all slept. Actually painted on the walls, but there were so many beds and like podiums and shit up because there were so many people there that you didn't notice it till it got down to the lower games where they started taking beds off. And then at that point, I was in the same mindset of Tony of like, oh, they're just adding them to the wall after they play them. And it's like, no, they were there the entire time. It was like, wow. So So
interesting. And were you able to see them in the background, like some of the lines and stuff like that?
Yep, you can pause it. You can literally see like all the games like behind the beds and shit. And I've just like painted out of like what they're doing. It's not like words or anything, but like for instance, like the fucking big chick looking back at them, and it's got like a stop sign and a go sign, and then like them running. It's like, okay, obviously it's very clear what that is. So yeah, but anyways, pretty interesting show. Definitely think if you're into that kind of genre and you like death games, because that's apparently like a big thing. Like I said, Sword Art Online would be another thing that I would classify as a death game. That's my favorite anime. Literally is fucking them getting locked in a video game and they have to fucking win to continue to be alive. Alice in Borderland apparently is another one that gets suggested to me a lot through Netflix now. I never watched it.
Yeah, there's a DS game. There's a whole series, I guess, of 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors, and then there's some sequels to that. They're on Steam. That's the same kind of idea. You might like that, except it's like a visual novel, so you might not like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just crazy how like quick it jumped up. Like, it's the #1 most watched show.
It's like blew up
globally. Yeah, globally, it's fucking nuts. And I definitely found out that white van sales have increased because that's what they use to go pick up the contestants. Because I guarantee you that is going to be the Harley Quinn this year of Halloween outfits. It's going to be dressed as those fucking armed guards.
Game participant?
Yeah, a participant or the guards. The guards most likely, because they wear the pink like kind of Tyvek suit jumpsuit, and then they have like a circle mask on that either has a circle, square, or a triangle. And that's how they like knew who was who. Like the circles were the people who fucking got rid of the bodies. The triangles were the guards that held the guns. The squares were the commanders. So
I'm gonna be the squid. I'm gonna dress up as the squid from Squid Game.
Yeah. You're just a bunch of shapes in sand. So
yeah,
there you go. There's no actual squid, but yeah.
I figured kind of feeling.
Oh shit! But yeah. No, like I said, it was interesting. I mean, it's not something that I would rewatch again.
People really like it, and that's good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you haven't watched Squid Games and you like that stuff, check it out. Netflix, if you have one of those. So, I don't know. Netflix is about to lose my subscription. That's all I'm saying. They don't put out enough for me to like constantly keep getting these notifications of we're about to raise your monthly bill. We're about to raise your monthly bill. It's like, bro. You guys don't put out nearly enough content that I can't go find anywhere else. Like most of the shit that you have, Hulu has, Peacock has. Like I have all these other subscriptions that are literally half, if not less than that, of what I fucking pay to have for Netflix. Yeah, I think like the last one they sent out is like $18.99 a month now for me to fucking have the Netflix subscription that I have. Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. It's nuts. But oh well. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and end it there. I guess I brought the podcast down. Jesus.
No,
yeah, what the hell?
I'm sorry. We failed you. Being poor media consumers forever.
You know, funny. I'm not gonna take responsibility for deciding I'm not super into death games. I don't feel like I've failed you, so failed you.
No,
sorry, JoJo, I'm throwing you under that bus.
No, hey, you know, I mean that's the reason why we're all here. You know, we all got different opinions, and that's why it's fun to have that stuff. So, you know,
we failed you.
Anyways, don't forget, guys, to make sure that you go and check out the merch store. We have the new exclusive Halloween shirt up. I did a whole channel update on that. If you haven't watched that yet, go watch that. Not only do I show you the actual picture of the shirt, I'm wearing the shirt so you can see what it looks like on the actual body. This is not the shirt, obviously. This is my normal one I wear.
You shouldn't have shown us.
I know, right? Exactly. It's on the channel update, JoJo. Go watch it. Fuck.
All right.
Anyways, so, and like I said in the channel update, I washed that thing like 20 times. Not that I wore it that many times, but I wanted to make sure here at Dead Funny, we stand behind the product we're going to put up there. If I'm going to have you actually spend any of your hard-earned money to support us, it's going to be something that's going to be well worth it. And that shirt has held up. It looks great. Fits great. Fantastic. Love the shirt. So go check that out. Also, don't forget to hit us in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts on some of the stuff we talked about. Some of you guys came and talked to me personally about the Blizzard stuff just because of how sensitive it was, and I completely understand that. But if you have any thoughts or views and you want to, you know, get that information to Kelsey and JoJo, the best way to do it is in the comments below. Also, the other best way to support us is subscribe. We're in October. This is our busiest fucking month. We go out every fucking October, and we definitely outdid ourselves this time. It's been nuts. So make sure you go check out all that hard work especially whenever I get to the end of the month and you start to see the horror that I put JoJo through, which I feel super bad about, especially when it comes to, I won't give away the name of the game, but a spider incident, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
He told me, and I feel so bad for you.
I didn't know.
I don't want to understand. Like, it ended up being not so bad because they had this arachnophobia mode in it that actually kind of worked. Like, you can't see my vision in the video, I guess, but like, they just make it into like a weird little blob with a head. It's still like not cool. I still, it's like, but I could do it.
Yeah, he was a trooper. He's a trooper. Not only did he play 1 round, he played 2 rounds. So he's a trooper. I'll give him that. JoJo showed up. So that's for sure. Although I really wish you would have been there because I wish we would have got like a yell from you two whenever we played a game, Kelsey, that scared the fuck out of me. It actually scared me. Yeah. We were playing this game called Haunt Chaser and fucking I ran around this fucking church and sure enough, this body appears out of nowhere and I yelled. I was like, oh shit! It scared the shit out of me. And I died instantly and JoJo was like 10 seconds behind me around the corner. I was like, fuck, dude, I wish JoJo would have been there too. We both would have been fucking terrified because he walks into church and nothing happened to him. I was like, oh, okay, this is bullshit. So, yeah, scared the fuck out of me. I freaked the fuck out. I was like, what the fuck? So, but yeah.
That
so
needs
make sure
to happen to you every so often.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. It's great. It's what fucking gets the adrenaline pumping. But make sure you guys check that out. Definitely show us some love on those videos. Make sure you hit those likes. Make sure you comment on those. Let us know if there's any of those games you want to see us play some more of or anything else like that. Once again, that helps. Like I said, we try to celebrate every October. So, but other than that, we're going to go ahead and cut it here. So make sure you like, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.